private organization. They literally don't know the difference very often. And they don't care. They just have two questions. What can you do for me? And if I'm not careful, what might you do to me? See, those are the questions. Well, again, it's trust. So if we are seen as going beyond, here's our work over here, that's what we do, but here's something that's best if it's related to our work, because after all, that's where we have expertise, and we're doing that. For instance, let's assume that the local Boys and Girls Club, their books are all screwed up. And we've got some people in our office who understand finance. Well, now that's a subject we ought to know a lot about, because we're a financial agency. So we have a couple of volunteers who go over and help them straighten out their books. See, now that's heavy-duty stuff, because they're going to tell everybody, because you straighten them out. If they've got a board of directors that has some opinion leaders, you've done something that wasn't just a off-the-wall thing, but it was applying your expertise to their need in the community. That's the kind of things that have very good response. And in some towns, you also want to do these social responsibility projects with the local powerhouse. That's where this business of having an inventory of the organizations is so critical. For example, if you're in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and you aren't a big player in Frontier Days, you've ever been in Cheyenne, that's a week when the whole damn town shuts down, right? And you're either in it or you ain't. If you don't take part, you better damn well move to Denver, or worse, to Sheridan, or some damn place out in the middle of nowhere, see? Well, I mean, is Social Security a presence there? Do we do something that our name, that our application is out there? Every town has some of these must-do events, and we need to, am I right? I mean, they shut the town. Except for tourists. Tourists can come. Tourists with money can come. Tourists without money can't come. But just think about this. Or who is the big deal in your community? Is it the Rotary Club? Who is it? And then if you could join and jointly do a project, you see what that does? That pulls Social Security right up to their level. And since Social Security hasn't done much of this, people say, whoa. And of course, it's not Social Security doing it, it's the employees of the local office of Social Security, which is even better. And so those are some of the kind of things where you get to rub elbows, and you really are sending messages that are critical. Something else that I don't understand why you don't all do. I know you can't legally have advisory boards. I know, because I was chairman of the DOD board, and Congress wiped us out. I think it was a bad move. I think all federal agencies are better served by having citizen boards who sit there and point out all their foolishness. But anyway, there's nothing that says you can't have unofficial advisory boards, as many of them as you want. And if I were running an office or handling public affairs in the region, I'd want to have a clergy board, I'd want to have an HR board, I'd want to have a financial industry board, I'd have all these people 2-3 times a year. We can serve coffee and donuts as good as any Hilton or Sheraton, what the heck. And I mean, I just get them in, we talk, I tell them what's going on, they tell me their views, let's see what's happening. I mean, I'm building some relationships here, I'm building some access, they're building some access. Easiest thing in the world. But your finger's on the pulse. You know what's going on out there. They know what's going on in here. And if that doesn't happen, there just isn't that relationship.
Is that just restricted, say, to Social Security agencies?
Well, no, there's a federal, we used to have federal advisory boards for just about every agency. And for every part of every agency. And a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, Congress passed a law that they couldn't have advisory boards except under some very exceptional circumstances. In fact, the advisory board that I chaired was licensed not only by the Department of Defense, but also Congress itself. When we were appointed to the board, Congress had to approve it. Now, I'm sure they paid no attention, just voted yes. But, if some name had gotten on there somebody didn't like, they'd have said no. But for some reason, they wiped these out. It was a cost-saving measure.
The reason I asked that because when I work with EPA, there's a citizen advisory board, there's an environmental justice, and all these are citizens.
That's right. Well, that's what we were. Now, whether they wiped those out or not, I don't know. They were very
I know
selective.
EPA is still doing it. That's why I asked was that.
Well, the reason EPA is doing it, though, is that it's in the legislation. In
Yeah.
NEPA, those boards were legislated.
Okay.
But a lot of the other boards had just been done administratively. So, you know, you can't have, well, you have to check. I don't even know what the rules are now. But my point is, nobody says you can't have unofficial advisory boards, discussion boards, call them what you will. But get those people in. Get opposite them. Get to know them. Get them to know you. And, you know, a lot of people that are opinion leaders have never been inside a Social Security facility. Have you ever noticed how curious we all are about places we've never been? You know, the neighbors down the street put an addition on their house. Every time you drive by, aren't you dying to know what's in it? That's just human curiosity. Well, how about getting people into our offices so they know what it's like for a visitor to come there? They know what's going on out in the back room. You don't have to have a big office to do this. You can serve coffee and donuts over the corner somewhere and have a little meeting with these advisory people. Remember, they're out there talking about Social Security, whether you talk to them or not. So the question is, should we do this? Something else you might want to do, it's very simple. Have you ever done a little campaign, either inside the agency or outside, on the 10 most frequently asked questions about Social Security or something equally simple? What a triggering event. It gets people to thinking about this. Gets staff to think about it. Gets people outside thinking about it. You know, there's a million creative ideas like that, and I don't think probably we need to spend very much more time on it because I'm sure you know these kind of things to do. They're obvious. But so many of them are so easy. Notice that everything I mentioned has no cost to it. I'm not talking about you spending money. Although, let me just say this. A lot of creative stuff going on in this agency. I can tell you Social Security people in towns where the place to be is the country club, and Social Security is paying for that membership. I know it's against the rules. Is it? I don't know. Fascinating. It's the place to be. If you're not there, you're nobody in some communities. And our people are there. They shouldn't have to pay this out of their own pocket. So we found ways to get that covered. I mean, the point is, where are the opinion leaders? Do what you have to do. Be creative. Get very creative. Get there with them. Now, are some of you doing some neat things that you want to share?
Non-procurement.
Yeah. I think when you talk about partnership, I know in our region, we were worried about developing a better relationship with Social Security. And part of that is my dealing with, I have 250-some Social Security field officers in our region. And as a part of our partnership, I am calling every one of those persons.
That's great.
And what we're telling them is that I'm going to be an additional liaison. If you go to your regular council, HICWA, and you can't find who you need, you call me, give me the name of the person,
Yep.
and then HICWA will answer that question. You should not, as Social Security, you're helping me. You should not have to run around 3 or 4 hours looking for a HICWA answer.
Yeah, that's right. Because people
So
come to
it's
Social
our
Security
job
for
to
those
do
answers.
that. We have supplied them with information where the field officers for Social Security can order our publications directly. They don't even have to come to us.
Yeah.
We're dealing with them in terms of saying, if you know of publications that deal with senior citizens, let us know. We will supply them with information, fact sheets and stuff.
Yeah, well, you see, and there's an example right inside the agency, and you see the interplay there. And when you go outside and do this, it's that same interplay. And that's really what I'm urging you to do. Yes.
Comment, and you touched on it lightly. I've joined some organizations that have leadership positions in them.
Good.
But it has been out of pocket cost for the most part. I'm talking like over 150, 200.
See,
And
There are
it's-
regulations to pay for some membership fees.
there are regulations. You can pay for those. And then there's a little thing called creative accounting, and there's another little thing called semantics, what you call it. It's amazing what you can do. Look, as long as your heart is pure and you're doing this for a good purpose, you know, you can probably...
That's a problem with Social Security. We want to do things cheap, but we want to do great things.
Exactly. And there's a little conflict there, isn't there? A little conflict there. But you know, it's like this stupid government thing about having to do your own business cards. I mean... Yeah, I know. Remember all those years? Remember all those years when you had to get your own business cards?
Still do?
Well, yeah, no, I think there is a change. Procurement tell us. I think there is a change in that. I think the government...
What? Business cards are now an approved expense.
They're now an approved expense.
Yeah, they're what?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You go to Staples, you buy the blank stuff, you put the logo right on it, and I have a template, and then you just change the name and address to protect the innocent.
Yeah.
You put your own name on it.
So you make it yourself.
You make them yourself, you just go buy whatever colored paper at Staples or Max.
Right, but you can't give your records if you haven't done that.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
It is an approved
Under
expense.
what came out?
That came out last year.
But SSA said we couldn't.
We can.
Well, see, as usual, you need to educate. You need to educate your managers. You know, they're always behind the curve on this stuff.
You got the card and maybe.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's right. But you see, even this, I mean, any organization that wants to control its quality has a uniform business card with a certain logo and a certain way you do it. We'll get there. Hey, be patient. At least you got the card paid for. My God.
When you talk to Mr. Lyda,
Oh, don't worry. I got a long...
put on that list is, it is very difficult. I'm not saying that I've had a negative experience or
Yeah.
anything. I'm not trying to beat up my manager. But
Why not?
you go to your manager and say, you know, I know you got this person on your staff. I want him to go out and give a proactive speech. We're planning so and so. And some of the managers will bellyache about that. I mean, because what it is you're taking resources out of their office, and they are already stretched.
That's right, and the way they're measured for accomplishment. I mean, it's a self-defeating system. It's a sure way to shoot yourself in the foot.
They're
And
stretched
then...
already, and then you're asking, can you steal another person from your staff for today?
Exactly.
You have to give us enough advance notice so we can make adjustments. And that is
Yes, that does make a difference.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
because we
Yeah.
have calendars that are out for 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and we've got those people booked. I mean, they have appointments, and then you come in the day before and you say, oh, we have this last minute thing and I need to take Susie. And you say, well, geez, that's nice, but Susie has 5 appointments tomorrow, and
Yeah.
you know,
Actually, that hasn't been my experience.
Okay.
Actually, my experience has been having to hold the phone for 15 minutes to listen.
Oh,
To why.
Yeah.
We have
And
had
I mean,
that
I
happen.
worked in the field office, so I know
Yeah.
they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you want me to do what? That's what I mean. It's like a conflict.
Absolutely.
You know.
And look, these occur in every organization. It's just we may have more than others. The other thing is, I mean, then on top of all that, then you go and get sucked in by this big research firm that's doing all that research, because what is it, you're gonna have 90% of Americans are gonna... Did anybody tell you, obviously the research firm lied to you, did they ever tell you that there has never in human history been a subject that achieved 90% awareness, to say nothing of 90% understanding? You don't think this is a political deal because a research house knew somebody that would pay $4 million for their research, do you? Which, by the way, is about as old-fashioned a research method. Our research subsidiary wouldn't touch it, the stuff they're doing. I would be embarrassed. And here you are all now going to be measured by this, by Congress, if you don't make the 90%. Somebody around there better start standing up tall and, you know, getting ready for this, because it's going to be a crisis. maybe they'll manipulate the research and you'll get 90.1, you know, I don't know. But truly, we have never had a subject